too. Oh no, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back, people. Alright, I'm back, guys. Straight back to appraising. Wait, can y'all hear my controller, bro? Why wouldn't somebody tell me? It's so loud. It's like annoyingly loud. Hey guys, gotta end stream here. Sorry, I know. I'm your favorite person, gotta go. But I do, sadly. I gotta go watch the Mario movie. Goodbye, guys. I love you all for watching. Stop it from.
Apparently you can go from 0 to a complete site in just a single prompt with Wix Harmony. I don't know if this is going to be possible. Or vibe coding meets drag and drop free.
This is how you add a microphone to OBS for streaming. What you need to do, you're gonna go to sources under the scene, hit the plus sign and go to audio input capture. Make sure you name it. You can call it mic. So under device, find the name of your microphone. If you're using an external microphone like this one, it's gonna be connected to an interface and you should be able to find the name of your interface here. Just gonna go ahead and click to it, and as you can see under audio mixer, I already have a signal. That's how you do it. Make sure you follow for more tips like this one.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is Base 44. This is a first look at the current industry-leading AI app builder, and you wouldn't believe the kind of apps.
No fish. You switch to using a spinner. No fish. You switch to a crankbait. No fish. Okay, this is ridiculous. How are these kids out fishing you? It looks like they're using worms.
A while back, I was on YouTube and I came across this video titled Fishing, the most boring sport on Earth? Now, obviously fishing isn't the most boring sport on Earth. That title of course goes to competitive knitting.
Konkurrenter strikker på livet løs, mens Maries stol bliver ved med at stå tom.
Der er fortællinger i strik. Strik er ikke bare overflader.
He's a knitter! 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 No!
But it's the thumbnail that really got my attention. It's gambling. Now, obviously that can't be true. I mean, I didn't catch over 650 fish in the last 2 years by sheer luck. And while I will be having fun with this, it's clear that this video isn't trying to be a source of truth for fishing, and seems to be made by a real human too. Well, let's take a look at this video and see if we can learn anything from it.
Sunday morning, and you have been playing video games for the past 12 hours.
What? Hold on, did I hear that correctly?
You have been playing video games for the past 12 hours.
Stop it. Get some help.
I mean, I enjoy Minecraft and Sega Bass Fishing Duel as much as the next guy, but playing for 12 hours straight? That can't be healthy.
Your mom barges into your room. She's really angry.
No more video games.
To get back your video games, you have to catch a fish. Fish are pretty dumb, right?
Generally, fish aren't very intelligent, but it's worth noting that some fish are smarter than others. Trout and carp are the most wary fish from my experience. Sudden movements in the water, or even casting a shadow, can spook them off to the point that they won't go for anything.
But how do you even get started catching a fish? Let's assume that you live in the United States of America. If you live in these states, you might have a hard time finding an easy source of water to fish in.
Yeah, it's probably a little harder, but there's still plenty of spots to fish in those states. You may have seen these guys on YouTube before, pretty awesome channels. Both of them live in Arizona and they catch a ton of fish there.
Your chances of catching a fish increase dramatically if you live in a state that has easy access to a major body of water.
Now, on the surface this makes sense. More water means more fish, but unless you have a boat, you can't reach most of it. So let's take Lake Michigan for example, one of the largest lakes in the US. While a lot of fish are gonna hang out around the shore, there is a ton of space here that you're not gonna be able to access without a boat. And even then, let's zoom in a little further. We have one public beach here, but then, if you go along the coast here, look at this. All privately owned. So this is private property, you can't even access this from the shore. Versus, let's look at a smaller pond. Here's one nearby in Illinois called Lake Carina. This entire lake is open to the public, and it even has a little trail to go along the entire perimeter of the lake. That's gonna be good because you can cast at it from any angle. So hey, if you're in Illinois, give this spot a try.
Once your location is set, you will have to buy some fishing supplies. You could try going to some of these major retailers. There's also smaller businesses that might also offer what you need, and online retailers also work.
You can get fishing gear just about anywhere, but for your first time, I highly recommend shopping in person. A 9-foot fishing rod can cast really far and it sounds awesome on paper, but you might not realize just how heavy and bulky it is until you hold it for yourself. Small businesses are more expensive to get fishing gear at, but they're usually run by experienced fishermen that can help you get exactly what you need, and you're supporting a small business too, which is always a plus. Of these retailers, I pretty much only shop at Walmart and Bass Pro shops. Bass Pro has the best selection, and Walmart tends to have the best price.
You're having a hard time deciding where to go, so you decide to go to the store that has a fish in its logo. You've made it to the fishing section. There's a lot of supplies here.
Yeah, this is another reason why you might not want to go to Bass Pro shops if you're buying fishing gear for the first time. Obviously, they got a ton of variety and a ton of stuff that's good for beginners, but there are so many options there that it can be a little overwhelming.
Here's what you need to get started. Get a fishing rod. Find a reel that works with your rod. Get some fishing line. Spool that line around your reel and thread it through your fishing rod.
So you can do all that, but you don't have to. Every tackle shop out there is going to sell a combo too, where you can buy the rod and the reel as one product. Combos often come with pre-spooled line as well, but even if it doesn't, most dedicated tackle shops can put the line on for you.
Next, get some hooks. Multiple hooks.
Okay, I'll make this really simple. Every hook you buy should be based off the bait you're using. If you're fishing smaller baits like corn or a dough bait, get an assortment of Aberdeens. If you're fishing a larger bait like a nightcrawler, a 1/0 size J hook or bait holder hook will be just fine. And if you're fishing a soft plastic, the recommended hook will likely be somewhere on the package, and if it isn't, a quick internet search is all you need.
Next, get some sinkers. There are a lot of shapes and sizes. For now, let's get them all.
Don't do this. I haven't even used half the sinkers on here. 9 times out of 10, all you need is an assortment of split shots. You really only need the others if you're fishing with larger baits in different conditions, or if there's a specific kind of rig that benefits from using that shape in particular. But in most cases, a split shot's gonna do you just fine.
Get a bucket to store your fish. Get pliers to crush your sinkers and to remove hooks from the fish you've caught. Get a fillet knife to scale and fillet your fish.
Being nitpicky here, but
To get back your video games, you have to catch a fish.
yeah, you don't need a bucket or a fillet knife for that.
But, and this is a big but,
I've said it before on this channel, pliers are definitely essential if you want to go fishing. Trust me, you'll be glad you had them.
A net to haul them in. Beads to protect your knots. Barrel swivels for utility. Snap swivels to make swapping out hooks and lures easier. Getting some floats won't hurt.
Of all that stuff just listed, I've really only used snap swivels and my landing net. I do have beads and barrel swivels when I'm fishing for carp, but again, just keep it simple. You don't want to overcomplicate stuff when you're starting off.
And while we're at it, let's get some lures. Fish are pretty dumb, so they'll eat anything.
Well, if a fish will eat anything, why would you buy all those lures? Though, if you truly believe that, I can see why you would think that fishing is gambling. The reality is that not all lures are created equal. Some lures will catch just about anything, even the small fish. Some are used to target larger fish in more specific environments, and some don't catch fish at all.
Excuse me, sir, how old were you when you made your first million?
What is this for?
We're trying to get advice for the younger generation.
I made my first million last year, actually.
What line of work are you in?
I'm in sales.
Okay, what's the best advice you can give someone that's in sales?
You're only as good as your sales reps and your CRM.
What CRM do you use?
We used to use one of the old legacy CRMs, but it just didn't give us the speed and agility that we needed. But then we switched to Monday CRM and sales started flying.
Why is the CRM so important?
Well, no specific CRM can make you a millionaire, but if you want to move fast in today's world, you need a CRM that doesn't hold you.
Finally, make sure you have a license. In most places, you cannot fish without one.
Yes, this is very important. Unless you own the water body, a fishing license is probably going to be required. States sometimes have even more than one license too. Most coastal states have separate freshwater and saltwater licenses, and some states even require additional licenses to target certain species like trout. This is usually done to offset the cost of stocking them.
There, all done. That wasn't so bad, was it?
Unless this is the top of the line rod and reel, there's no way all of this costs nearly $600. And even if it did, you can catch fish for way cheaper. Look at this combo from Walmart. Rod, reel, and pre-spooled line for just 12 bucks. My favorite lure is the inline spinner. Catches basically everything and you can get a rooster tail for just $3. I'd usually get a few of them because they snag easily, but you only need one to catch a fish. It's also good to use a snap swivel with them to prevent line twist, which is an extra $2. There you have it. Everything you need to catch fish for under $20. If you want to spend another $5 and get some fishing pliers, I would highly recommend that too.
Right after you pay, the cashier asks you a question.
You want some worms?
He says it can help you catch some fish. Do you want to take it?
Ew, no way.
Okay, two things here. If you aren't going to use bait, then why would you?
Get some hooks. Multiple hooks.
Second, as slimy and smelly as worms are, they're virtually in every tackle shop for a reason. They do a killer job at catching fish. Sometimes fish are so picky that's the only thing they're going to go for. They're one of the few things you can basically never go wrong with trying.
With everything purchased, you can finally go fish. You see some younger kids fishing at the dock. You drop your line into the water with a lure that looks like a fish. You try to reel back your line in for inspection, but something's blocking you from reeling in. Looks like you put your fishing line in the wrong position. You need to thread it in like this in order to make it work.
I think we've all been here before where you put the line on the wrong side of the bail. It's definitely happened to me before. Though usually you'd notice something like that before dropping your line. Thankfully, it's quick enough to fix since all you need to do is put it on the other side of the bail and run your line through your rod guides again.
You manage to fix your rod, but no fish are biting. You take out the swim bait and switch to a jig. no fish. You switch to using a spinner, no fish. You switch to a crankbait, no fish. Okay, this is ridiculous. How are these kids out fishing you? It looks like they're using worms. Maybe you should also try—
Ew, no way.
Right, worms are gross. You won't stoop to their level.
There is no shame in using live bait, especially if you're a beginner. And it makes sense that these kids are killing it too. Think about it this way. If you are a fish and you see something that looks, smells, and moves like a live animal next to something completely artificial, which one are you going for? It's a no-brainer.
It's Saturday and you're still having no luck catching a fish. As you stare into the horizon, something pops out of the water.
Hey kid, having trouble?
Who are you?
Don't worry, I'll teach you how to catch a fish.
He swims over to your tackle box and takes a look.
Yes, swim bait. Cast it into the water by the weeds. Reel at a steady speed and you'll convince all the hungry fish that it's a tasty minnow. Jigs, they're very useful if you want to fish near the drop-off. Just let it sink, give it a gentle jerk, and repeat. Spinners, cast them into the water and reel. The flash from the blade and the spin will excite hungry fish into lunging at the lure.
All that information's pretty good, though with a swim bait you don't always have to do a steady retrieve. It's actually pretty common to do a stop and go retrieve with this lure, bouncing it off the bottom as you go.
Crankbait, let it sink to the bottom and reel them in. They attract the attention of hungry fish with all the noise they make clacking against the bottom.
This part isn't accurate though. Most traditional crankbaits don't sink, they float. That's why they usually have large lips on them. That lip is what allows it to dive deep into the water when you reel it in. The bigger the lip, the deeper the dive. Now there is a type of crankbait without a lip called a lipless crank, and they do sink on their own. Instead of running against the bottom to make sound, the noise they make usually comes from tiny ball bearings that rattle inside of it.
A topwater frog. Toss it by the lily pads and have it hop around like it's a little frog. Any fish nearby won't be able to resist.
Maybe you should try his tips with one of your lures. You decide to try what he taught you with the spinner. You make your cast. You start to reel in. There's a bite. It's a big one.
Hey, I wasn't kidding when I said inline spinners catch basically everything. Though I haven't caught a Loch Ness Monster off one yet.
You're angry and you're furious.
Furious is just more angry, so which one is it?
You're fed up with fish refusing to bite, worms, aquatic old men, and Loch Ness monsters. Fishing is a joke.
Love Roblox? Earn Roblox digital gift cards with Microsoft Rewards. Sign up for Microsoft Rewards and earn points for your everyday activities when you search on Bing.
It's one thing to have a rough day of fishing and be disappointed or even frustrated, but to call fishing a joke is going too far. This is a sport that millions of people enjoy every single day, and it's not all about catching the fish either. So much of it is just getting out there and enjoying God's creation in nature. Often it's the days that I'm not catching much where I appreciate it the most.
You decide to go to your local seafood market to buy a live fish as a replacement. There's no way your mom can tell the difference. You hand the bucket to your mom and tell her you caught it from the lake.
What kind of fish is this?
Rock cod?
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Isn't that a saltwater fish? Liar!
Looks like your mom caught you lying.
Remember kids, never lie to your parents.
Now you have to face the consequences. Your new punishment is to catch 2 fish. You try your luck again at the local lake next Saturday. No bites this time. Looks like you have to change your strategy.
There are many reasons why fish won't bite at a particular spot. If the spot's lacking structure, like rocks and vegetation, they probably won't stick around for long even if they are nearby. Lower temperatures and oxygen levels can make fish lethargic and less likely to bite too. Also, if it happens to be spawn season for the species that you're targeting, that can have an effect on whether they bite or not as well. This is especially true for species like carp that rarely bite when they're spawning.
Since fish live in water, and 71% of all water is from the ocean, it makes sense that there will be more fish in the ocean.
Yes, and there definitely are more fish in the ocean. Though maybe it's just me, but I actually think saltwater fishing is harder than freshwater fishing.
You live 3 hours from the coast. You convince your parents to drive you out. You toss your lure into the ocean. After a few minutes of waiting, you get a bite. It's a halibut. An hour later, and you catch a red rockfish. As you skip to the car ready to get back your video game,
Stop right there!
It's a park ranger. Turns out it was illegal to possess halibut and rockfish at this time of year.
This is why it's really important to check the regulations before fishing a new spot. Many species have limited seasons that you can take them, and those regulations are put in place to protect the populations. Since this story takes place in California, I decided to look up the regulations for these fish and learn some interesting things. It turns out there are two main types of halibut in California: the California halibut and the Pacific halibut. The California halibut can actually be taken year-round, and it's because it's not a true halibut. It's actually a member of the sand flounder family. So that means this is a Pacific halibut, right? Well, not so fast. While it does have a limited season, from May 1st to November 15th, it's an offshore species. It's very unlikely that you'd be able to catch one from the beach or a pier. And the only time of year they get close to the shore is when they're in season and you can take them anyways. But if this somehow was a Pacific halibut taken out of season, we can use the regulations of both species to deduce that they were caught sometime between January 1st and March 31st. Is that important? No, I just thought it was cool.
He hands you an envelope, which you open and read. In addition to catching 2 fish to regain your video games, you'll need to pay back the fine yourself. You spend the next few months mowing grass to pay off your debt. Half a year has passed, and you finally managed to pay off your debt. You've resigned yourself to never being able to play video games ever again.
No, is that really the worst fate, to never play video games again? I feel like after half a year, I'd probably pick up a new hobby.
Right when you're about to give up hope, you notice a can of worms that someone left on the dock. You swallow your pride in your stomach. With great disgust, you slip the worm onto the hook. Within a few seconds, you get a bite. It's a trout. Finally, your first legally caught fish.
I remember catching my first trout was an awesome experience. At least where I live in New Hampshire, they're not super common, so it's really special when you land one.
Maybe using worms was the solution to all your troubles all along. You slip on another worm and cast back into the water. Was fishing always this easy?
2 hours later.
I had a good laugh at the end there, because this happens all the time, especially with trout. In fact, I've never caught more than 2 trout in a single trip. Like I said earlier, trout are very wary fish, and it's not uncommon for them to completely stop biting once they catch on to what you're doing. So, is fishing really gambling? Of course not. It's only gonna feel like gambling if you can't catch fish, don't appreciate nature, and you're using a topwater frog. Well hey, if there's a video you'd like to see a fisherman's perspective on, let me know about it down in the comments. Big thanks to all my channel members, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and check out my other videos too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Play War Thunder now. Join millions of players across the globe in massive battles on tanks, aircraft, and helicopters in the most extensive vehicle combat game ever made.